Peace and blessings, family. Sister Ajali, I pray you have tapped into that melanated might that is yours for the asking. But when you ask it, you gotta you gotta accept the responsibility of being alive. Let me just go right on over to Mike. This is the headline at Daily Mail, and oh my God, is that such a racist rag? It's not even funny. I'm not going to go over the details. However, it's like they got to show Mike with, like their favorite way of depicting a black man, which is with a cigar. And, if they could find him with a joint, they would have had that, and with him flashing all the money that he actually does have, but that's not impressive to those who are wise enough to know what the real value, the real wealth of life is. They would show him with a big wad of cash in his hand. Uh, Mike doesn't look good. He don't look good. Oh, wow. Uh, and we, as Black people who've grown up in the Black community with fully Black families, not bowing down to white people, which happens if you have even one of them show up. Everybody suddenly gets real quiet, and doesn't say all sorts of things that you usually know you daggone would say. And not that is racist. We ain't hunting these people, they're hunting us. And some succumb to the I'll go to the next picture. I mean, we know uh, that this is something we seen with our family members and in our communities. There was a brother years back who he confessed to me that he had a low wine that you could see it in his eyes. His eyes were all yellowed, and I just looked at him. I didn't say anything to him directly, but I knew this brother's not long for this world, and he has since passed at a certain point in time because he knew he was finding it almost impossible, according to him, to step away from the wine. Yeah, he succumbed to all the various conditions that happen when your liver is not cleaning out all the toxins from your blood system. This is from the Daily Mail, but it's a lot less like just they want to take pock shots at Michael Jordan, because any Black person that achieves any semblance of success, and I'm not even talking about the monetary, because that's not what they fear the most. These Negroes, they control. They're not worried about it. But still, even the veneer of success just makes them feel intimidated and like they're failures themselves, because they operate as a system, but individually they have the nature of their system. The system is despicable. Are there individual white people who can, recognize the truth about themselves? I'm less and less beginning to believe that's possible, but I've met some who are doing their best. And Dr. She and I just the other day were talking about Grandpa Lewis, who used to play Grandpa on the Munsters. That dude was I mean, the things he said, if I said it, people would think that I was racist, but he was just saying the truth about his own people. And where he says, one of the things he said is there's no racism problem in America, there's a white people problem. And so, yeah, there's ones that do try, but they don't try in a way that is going to be a benefit to Black you and me, anyway, shape, forever or ever. And Michael Jordan is a victim of trusting that these people should be the measure of what is considered enviable And when I looked a little bit into his background, because he's someone that it's most boring persons are celebrities, black ones, white ones, whatever. They're just dull friggin' people, because their motivation, and with actors and singers especially, their motivation for doing what they do, and actors most especially, because they have the least amount of skills out there, is they love the acclaim, they have that vanity, and vanity is a lie. It is it feels like such a yearning that you can confuse it with what you actually need, what's going to satisfy your soul, what is going to fulfill you as a human being. You can't get away from that compass of the Most High. You cannot. I don't care where you think you're seeking refuge or rescue from, it ain't going to work. You cannot go to a satanic coven, and because you think you participated in some sex orgy and didn't even have to be there, that somehow or another all those addictive sensations are a substitute for righteousness, for health. Ozempic ain't gonna cut it for you, right? The same thing with thinking you're a product. And when I look at Mike, I conclude that at a certain point in time, I don't know what his family history is, but I am just looking at that compass where you are so athletically gifted that you become a product, that thereby, because you're not thinking of yourself as a whole human being, so you could contemplate every aspect of your existence, especially numero uno, your blackness. Because if you don't understand that, you don't understand anything. As one of our, was it G. Carter Woodson, one of our great historians, said, and I was paraphrasing, but if you don't understand how your blackness is being used, as we are a prisoner of war nation, and granted, we are learning more and more the outcome of having white folks in charge of our perceptions of existence itself, how that is all brought together so that it's wringing the hell out of us. And I guess that's a good thing, because all we'll have left is heaven, even though hopefully there'll be more than just one or two of us left. If you don't understand all of these different factors and how they linked up, nothing is going to satisfy your craving for white adoration, white approval, because that is not possible. These athletic celebrities who just, I mean, are they even looking at their own might, their own aptitude? And I don't mean intellectually, but physically, that they achieve feats that no other race of people on the planet it can hope to come up to. And I mean, I've heard white people who they love to just sort of, encapsulate our blackness into, oh, we're physically amazing and we dance really well and we sing really well. But when it comes to intellectually, oh, we're just, completely mindless. And that's the stupidest non-scientific thing I've ever heard. Because what does the melanin? My melanin stops here, and the rest of my face is just what? White, right? No, of course not. Your melanin suffuses everything you do. It takes an incredible amount of intelligence to be a successful athlete. And it takes a certain soul fortification to challenge your body to that level where I mean, my little bit of working out Works out really well for me. But at the same time, I can get a glimpse of what these guys are facing because I'm like one of the laziest people there are. I am. That's why I was overweight to start with. However, I have enough of that vanity, which was, it depends on how you use these emotions that the devil then will take advantage of completely and swing you all the way to the wrong side. It depends on how you employ them so that they could be a benefit. I'm thoroughly addicted to exercising right now. I can't imagine not moving my body for so many different reasons, including having muscular definition in my body. I'm not trying to be like a substitute for a man, but just when I'm like, oh, maybe I won't do my workout today, I'm not going to show you because this is a different type of platform here, where I try to, submit to the commands of the Most High. But as soon as I see those deltoids and all of these different little things in my abdominals, I'm like, well then, I like that. I'm gonna keep on going. Intelligence is intricately wound with the macro society that is going to give you a sense of your own value, not just through your parents, but then when you look outside of your family home. And thus, when we are in charge of our own sovereignty, so we are not in overinflating our capability, but just telling the truth about who we are, you will see all levels of our society embracing our natural brilliance. And I wonder with athletes if the time in order to achieve these world phenomenal feats, the time they have to dedicate to just athleticism, it takes away their ability to just relax, contemplate life, and enjoy themselves. And so I wonder if they then can overindulge in this hedonistic, gluttonous type of just reverie in order to make up for what they perceive as lost time, that is reinforced by the society because it's one of the few avenues where Black us have been able to achieve what white people deem as successful. And then because you sort of inwardly know it's about nothing, and then when you're off the field, you feel like you have nothing, you shove it in everybody's face. Not all athletes, but the quiet, contemplative, just mindful athlete, that's becoming rarer and rarer. And so that's not an awful lot of time to develop an intellectual, a spiritual, a wise, embracing lifestyle. And it's Michael Jordan's mindset. Like he left his Black wife and for just like your enemy, dude, your enemy, because it's not that he didn't know. I would assess that he was doing wrong. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had the nightmares about drinking too much. And I read, with statements from those who played with him that, I mean, he would just tie one on. It is his overall dependence on white approval that would lead him to be so arrogant. It's that arrogance where when you are not paying attention to the humbling, you're supposed to not be a braggart. Compass from Allah, your soul's not receiving the wealth of your lifetime's experience. And thereby you think the substitute of having way too much money that you do not a damn thing with to empower the people who gave birth to you. And if for whatever reason you're gone and there's no direct replacement for you, the next Michael Jordan is coming from Black us. You're not going to assist us, even though you have that ability, unlike anybody else. What else have you got but the white approval, which you never really get? That's why he had to get the white. I can't say, let's see, the white woman, okay? And because it's a homosexual act. He really wants to be accepted. And what a sorrow. You are Michael Jordan and you are in places and you know all they see you at is a dumb buck. Of course you're drinking. Of course you are acting all arrogant because you have no inner faith, so that what people say about you doesn't mean a hill of beans, even if it's black people. Right? I got black folks out there don't like me. I don't care. And so when I'm here in the privacy of my own home, this is why when the whole, lockdown, which they're going to bring back, they love that, all right? Thing was going on. I was feeling good. I was like, really, I was sad for the people who didn't feel good. But at the same time, I just was like, you got to learn how to be okay inside with your own soul. And so that quiet voice you hear, and I'll spend like almost the whole morning until noontime with not a sound but the thoughts in my head, because it's peaceful, it's wonderful, it's restful. I don't have any recriminating voices other than you got to try harder, you got to work harder to warn us about Fukushima radiation. But someone like a Michael Jordan, he's so into the white approval, he would run. He would run from not just black me, but any black people who would lead him to understanding what the hell's going on in the world. And so that long ago, he would have known his greatest power is what he was made to be by Allah. That's not a mistake. That's not an aberration. And he's only as strong as we, his people, are to defend him. He wouldn't be doing or being where he is were our ancestors not screaming, I am a man. I don't mean me, okay? For all the people like, oh, that was a tranny, that was a tranny. No, I'm not, okay? They, our ancestors, prepared the road and they're talking us out of it, even with Diddy, where, really, you got black people hugging Diddy? What difference is it if we're just as vile as the oppressor is? I had shared the meme that from Russ Winter's book, The Influence of Sabbatean Frankism on the World, that said the Talmud states that the Messiah will only come in an age that is completely guilty or completely innocent. That's a patent lie there already. You just ask Job, ask Noah, ask Lot. Don't ask his wife, okay? Because she turned back and she looked and she's like, well, I kind of like that little part about Satan, right? That's for straight out the bat, it's a lie. But this is what you see all around us, where they're just constantly entreating us to further and further debauchery, because for them, the Most High is their enemy and they want to prove him wrong in having chosen us as his people. And I'm going to do my darndest to, if I'm the only one, then I'm going to stay with being the only one that bows down as best as I can. I am not the chooser, but I'm looking to be the choosee, okay? And so this is they want everybody to be just as bad as Diddy. So when you see Black folks out there, and I ran into just a couple, most of the people that I'm subscribed to are not fools. They're really smart, really upstanding, right? They were not trying to defend a friggin' vicious pervert who's just a tool, a drone, right? We're not supposed to be just like making excuses so that what's the difference between us and the devil in that case? So I'm older than Michael Jordan, and he it was has been athletically, whoa, leaps and bounds more amazing than I am. But that's one of the things, so that you are not like Mike. You don't have to be like Mike, but you do have to leave the enticements, the mindlessness, because it's not just the drink, it's the think. You gotta be discerning of what creates this kind of mentality, so that you don't know your real wealth and where that is. When you see these Shannon Sharps with that whole tape, accidentally, I left my camera on. BS, BS, right? And so that when you hear these people and they keep like, Rihanna walking around, what? You got your bootay hanging out with just some little thing covering it up? That's what they want. Like, make everybody sinners. That is their strategy. So you got to step away from all of that and go to the one and the only, as best you can, to follow his commands. Right? Because that's spiritual. The spiritual, that has greater impact than even the physical. So for his yellowed eyes, oh, that incinerating soul is really going to get to him in the way that Daily Mail won't have the permission of the creator to grab photos of, to make little targeted jibes at, because all dudes going out just like Lot's wife, okay? So go on over to 25,000yearcycle.org. Escape the algorithm, right? That's definitely what we got to do, because these dudes, they're never going to stop. They're never going to confess that they've killed the Pacific Ocean, right? And assist us in getting the most complete warning and guidance. It's weird. I don't like saying it, because I'm not trying to be vain or braggadocio about it. It is what it is. Nobody else is sharing what we share, but we need your help. I thank you, sister, for your second order of soap in just like a week. She ordered soap 1 week, and the next week she's like, my family loves your soap. And she ordered another one. Thank you for that. If you have not bought my soap and my silk care cream, oh, this stuff is, I've just been using it and watching it for like a year now. And even though I've been selling, I was like, okay, I want to make sure it's perfect. And oh my goodness, that stuff is so amazing. And it just lasts. The shelf life with the formula that I have updated, improved, it just lasts and lasts. And it is so moisturizing. My toe that I broke, I have to do, I don't want to give you too much detail. Well, anyway, I haven't showered because I can't with my toe, right? And so I was forgetting to put the silk hair on. And suddenly I looked at my skin. Oh my goodness. I said, what the heck's going on with my skin? And I realized that silk hair is so moisturizing that most of the time I don't have to put it on, because it's so healing what I put in it. And then I was like, oh my goodness, I need some silk hair, because it just, and it was after, like a week of not using it, that suddenly I realized that my skin wasn't getting that layer of protection, because I could go days without putting silk hair. Whereas the lotions that they have, there's always usually something acidic in it, something drying in it, like alcohol. And so I was like, oh my goodness, I get used to not using it. And then I looked and I was like, I need my silk hair. So anyway, I don't want this to be long, but it winds up being long, huh? I hope you watch the whole thing. I hope you leave a comment. I hope you subscribe and hit like, all those wonderful things, which are very, very beneficial. And I hope you come on over here to 25,000 Year Cycle, because it's not just about my stuff. Dr. Shi, he's for real. And he does consultations right there. Let's chat. And he makes products. He also has different, audio clips that you can listen to that are just harder and harder to find. But he has products that are based on his incredible knowledge of melanated healing. He is a certified doctor with the Arna Nation, and they study Black us. Okay? All right. So, yeah, that's it. Mwah! Straight Black family pride is our map to forever. I love you. Peace and blessings.